Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In today's video, I got some updates for you on the market. I'm going to talk a bit about what's been going on and love it or hate it. What I've been talking about in the last couple AMAs has basically come to fruition. So I know some of you are like incredibly happy because you positioned early enough to sort of have this flexibility to buy the dip. And there are some of you who are underwater, who are super bullish, sort of, put your head down, sort of bull in a china shop. But it doesn't matter either way. I'm going to talk to you about what you do from this point forward, okay? So as always, guys, just remember, anything I say here is financial advice. And obviously, this isn't Ask Me Anything. So feel free to put any questions you have in the chat. Just be respectful is all I ask. So to get us started today, just remember, I'm also streaming live on Twitter, so you can follow me there. Make sure if you're not following me or subscribe to me on YouTube that you do that. Like the video, share the video. You can see my transactions in real time on the bank, which is my preferred wallet tracker of choice. And finally, if you want any of my paid services, they're linked down below. Let me tell you, one of the things I also do is I do some training sessions. So a couple of days ago, what we had done in the group was basically I walked people through how to open up puts and calls, how to play them, how to play leverage to make sure everyone understood. It was sort of an engagement session. If these are the things you want to, you like, I host these every now and then. They're all recorded. Definitely check that out. Guys, please do me a favor. I know this is going to come up. Sometimes I'm going to be talking, and if I don't get to your question right away, please don't post it again. If you repeat yourself with your question, it's going to look like spam to me, and I'm just going to ignore you, okay? Just giving that disclaimer up front. Now, the market, if you were to just open it today, you're like, wow, everything's going fantastic. H bar's up 12%. In fact, it was up 26% earlier because it's rotating. Celestia is up 8%, but context is key. Remember, we have just had a massive, basically a massive shitstorm in crypto. Ethereum, even though it's up 1% right now, it truly is down significantly. Bitcoin is down significantly, right? Remember, Eric Trump, when Ethereum was $2,800, was like, guys, buy the dip, buy Ethereum, and literally marked the top. Now, let me sort of go through some of this, because one thing I want you to see here is the fear and greed index is literally on the edge of extreme fear, right? If we take a look over here, the last time we were this low was sometime probably in August of last year, where we didn't even get that far. You see here, down here in August, we were around 34. We are the most fearful we have been this cycle, which is completely absurd, right? Because we've had two very extreme greed, which is the top of Bitcoin in March of 24 and the top that we had in end of November, early December. And since then, while we have been greed, we've really flipped the other way. And the reason for this is because we have literally gone through some massive sell-offs. Our altcoins are getting absolutely decimated. And this is something that I warned against in 23. People were all about, oh, why Brown Gent? Why do you have 60 to 80% of your money in Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol? Sucks that I have to scroll down to number 6 to see Solana right now. But why do you have it that far? And people were like, Brown Gent's an idiot. Brown Gent should be buying altcoins now. Well, guess what? Those altcoins, if you bought them, are down significantly, or they've done nothing. So it is something that I just want you guys to recognize. Don't try to just speed run this stuff. The safety comes by making sure the majors have appreciated enough Then you jump into the altcoins. And it's crazy because the people who were pushing altcoins the most, I have people now who are super degen, who are now Bitcoin maxis, calling everything else trash. This is another extreme I don't want you to get to. I'm a self-proclaimed Bitcoin maxi, or I used to be, but there are times where Bitcoin is not the right call. Now is not that time. Now is the time for Bitcoin. Now is the time for safety. When crypto is uncertain, the number one crypto we know is going to exist from now till the end of crypto, whenever that is, will be Bitcoin. There is no world where Bitcoin doesn't do well and everything else somehow does, or something else does. It just does not exist. Bitcoin is the fundamental base of everything we do in this space. And for people to go, well, who cares about a 2x? I can get a 100x on shitcoin. Great. And you lose 99.9% of the time, right? There are times that we can rotate, and I'm going to talk about those times. That time is not now. That time did not come. I'll be honest, I thought that time was there in December. I rotated my Bitcoin out at 93K. You guys remember this. Altcoins did do well for a short period of time, like 2 weeks, and then just completely mean reverted, gave back all our gains and that much more. So not that time yet. I'm basically bidding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Also, one more thing I want to show you is the market cap. Just take a look at what has happened to the market cap of crypto. We have literally gone from 3.6 trillion to 2.8 trillion. Now, if we go back to the peak here, 2.77 trillion was where we peaked in March. And we're so close, like 30 billion away from that number. So not surprised, right? Like February was the worst month that we experienced in crypto, I believe, in a long, long time. But the first question you may ask is it over? So let me go through this chart. And by the way, guys, keep putting your questions in chat. If you've already asked it, I will get to it. But let me just sort of go through this, and then we'll talk about AI agents or whatever you guys want to discuss, okay? And keep putting the stuff in the chat. So I like looking at high time frame. There are people I know who love looking at, the smaller time frames, the 1 hour, the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Like, honestly, you're going to get a ton of noise, and you have a bunch of trend shifts that it's hard to track. And I heard this the other day on another video I was watching. His name is Trader Main, pretty good. He talked about a trend being like a big ship, right? I like the analogy because a big ship can't just like turn left, right, like instantly. It takes a lot to change course, right? You don't just go like this, right? It literally will slowly change. So when you get the higher time frame shifts, well, what that tells us is we basically have to respect that trend. And while we were in an uptrend, you can see here, if I was to draw, right? You can see here, oh, oopsies. You can see here on these bottoms, God, I hate this stupid toolbar. TradingView can be so annoying sometimes. You can see here that literally we have lower lows, right? So what's going to happen over here is literally, right, we broke the structure. We closed below this weekly, which, not surprised. Right? Like we knew like a few days ago that was going to happen. And let me just undo this. Basically, since then, we're in a downtrend. Now, who could have seen this coming? Well, let me tell you something. Jackass, number one. But one of the things that I want to show you is the Ethereum chart. And the Ethereum chart is really what helped me through this. You guys have seen this. If you have been part of these AMAs for the last, I don't know, month, you have seen this chart. You have seen these pink arrows and they have not changed, right? It literally was a pink arrow going up, down, and up and down. And the up happened and this happened, right? So we had the liquidation wick. I just want to make sure you guys can see this very well on the chart. Let me just zoom in for you guys. Okay. So we had this liquidation level at 21 50, whatever, right? So what happened was that night, people got liquidated. Institutions, market makers, whatever, stepped in, bought a ton, then took that 30% gain they grabbed and sold it off. And since then, we were chopping sideways. We were chopping sideways. I believe it might have been February 6th that Eric Trump over here at 2850 or 29 or $2,900 or whatever said to buy the dip on Ethereum. Well, hopefully you should see how little they know. They know nothing, right? And basically it has chopped sideways. You guys remember, I told you over here, I ended up selling the majority of my ETH at $2,800. And by the way, guys, it's never fun. Let me tell you something. So I bought a bunch of ETH in the 23 bear market, 22 bear market, right? Got very cheap deals on it. But obviously, when we went to 4,000 and retraced, I was buying more. So I ended up buying more at 3,300, 3,200 US, whatever. And I hate taking a loss. But you know what I hate more than taking a loss is taking an even bigger loss. So even though like I'm not using like first in, first out principles, whatever, there were some ETH that I bought that I did take a loss on. I took a $500 loss on some of that ETH because I sold it at 2,800 when I bought it at 33. So basically I did that. We chopped sideways. If you guys watched my wallet over here, you definitely saw me on base, basically like going through and this is why I shared this wallet, by the way. I share this wallet not for fun, but because I want you guys to literally watch what I'm doing. I did this last time. I'm just gonna show you one last time. I want to make this very clear to you guys. There's opportunities in swing trading ETH in smaller quantities, right? Like I always have a hold position and a swing position. And what I was doing was basically, if you follow my wallet, you're like, the brown gent literally has so much volume, but all I was doing is buying and selling ETH for USDC. Like obviously, like I hate these spam transactions. But let's just go down here and you'll see what I mean. Oh God, there's so much spam. Like it's unbelievable. But you can like literally see here, right? Like the differences, right? Like here's $100, whatever, right? Like here was like $170, whatever, right? Like I was just looking at moves and closing them out. Yeah, I could do it for bigger, but the reality is there's the place, right? So I was just doing that while all this chopping was going on. And then we had the move, okay? So when we had the move, what I did, as I promised, I went on, in Dubai, we have this app called Wheel. In Wheel, you are able to buy crypto directly from your bank account, which is awesome. Problem is it charges like a 1% commission or whatever, right? Like in the fees, and they have like that spread, right? So not the best, but hey, I don't have to onboard fiat and sort of like twitch it, come back, do whatever. I can literally sell this and go right back to my bank account. So it's fine for more of a bigger move kind of play. I'm not going to swing trade on it because it's just not worth it. So I ended up buying on chain Ethereum at 2120, whatever. And then I did the same thing at like 2090, 2080 on Wheel. Okay. So I was doing it on my phone. And basically what we expect when we do this, right, is I'm going to draw this. You don't ever get a straight move down. Just like we don't, like the reality is if people just don't think about this, right? Like if it was so easy, what the hell? Oh, here, brush. Okay. If it was so easy for things to just go straight down, right? Then guess what would happen? People would just use leverage and crush it, right? Like think about it, right? Like you go like this and you're just like, okay, great. It goes straight down. This is the easiest leverage short ever, right? Or if it goes straight up, oh wow, it's the easiest leverage long ever. When do you ever see these movements? These movements almost never happen unless there's some sort of panic attack or something in the system, right? But what you will see, and this is what you normally see, is a move like this, right? And basically the bounces ended up, the bounces like the ones here, these lines, sorry, I'm not very good at drawing, but these lines that it basically goes to are the previous resistance levels or previous support turned resistance, right? So if I was to draw this here, right, what I would expect is for a bounce to happen. And then like, so if this is a level, we break through it, we come down, we retest the level, we go down further, we come back, we go down further, we come back, we go down further, we come back, we go down. That's why on a big red candle, that's why people who are more experienced in trading will tell you, hey, don't sell on the nuke, wait for the rebound that will always comes, sell on the rebound, and then let it go down even more if that trend is going on, right? And that's why we look at higher time frames, right? Like, guys, I want to make this very simple because a lot of people make this too complicated, and some people will say that this stuff is like astrology for men or whatever, right? But all you have to do is basically try to exit on a bounce if you want to exit. And that's why we look at the high time frames, because it doesn't just shift. Like, we're not gonna, I would be shocked, maybe like very low probability that we just get like at this stage for just to go like this, right? If this happens, if this move happens, it would more likely happen like this. Do you know what I'm saying? So do not feel like, so, you know, some people right now are like, oh my God, you know, they're waiting for more downside, right? Which I don't blame you, right? Like, I'm also waiting for more downside. I think we retest 2100 at least one more time. Right now, I believe we're at 22. But I would love to see us take out this level right here, 16, 17, right? If we go to 2100, I'm rebuying some of the ETH I sold in the last, like, what, day or two? Like, let me just scroll to the top. Like I said, guys, every other person, influencer or whatever you want to call it, will tell you something, but I'm the one who actually shows it, okay? And by the way, don't buy this garbage. These are all scams. I don't know how they make this show up my wallet. But you can see here, I sold ETH at 2197. Wait, no. I sold it for more than 21. I sold it for like 2220. You can see because the value is more. But you can see that same ETH, 9.969. I got it over here for 21,000. So I basically made a couple $1,000s on each of these ETH trades, just, you know, because I want to take profit here and I'm holding on the other. But what I see over here, right, in this range is, I don't think this is done. I think we can go further, and I think we're going to get a bounce, and then it goes down. So like, here's potentially also another way this happens. So let's draw this. Maybe we go to here and then go here. Do you understand? There's multiple places it can go. It can even go like a smaller bounce, like this. And also, this can also do this, by the way, because there could be like a smaller thing like this. So there's a ton of ways this can work, right? The goal here is, like, it doesn't matter what path it ends up doing. I'm doing the net path over here. That's what these arrows are. It doesn't mean it's not supposed to be bumpy. But let me tell you something, guys. Do not sit here and just expect to be given an incredible opportunity to get at the bottom, right? It's so hard to get the bottom. The best way, in my opinion, if you are looking to be in the market, if you still believe the cycle is still on like I do, is to ladder in. So once we come back to this level in this area, these are good buys, right? 2100. And then save some money in case it comes down even further to a buy down here, right? In this area. Because that's where the actual other support is, right? Like, just take a look over here, right? And you can see here, this level 1855 or whatever in this area, that's likely where the smaller bounce happens. It goes like this up here and then down, okay? That could happen as well. But it doesn't matter, guys. The whole thing here is, you have to ask yourself, do you believe the cycle is still on? If you believe the cycle is still on, you'd be a fool to not be somewhat positioned and not try to at least nibble a bit in this area. Like I said, not financial advice. That's what I'm doing, obviously. And then you can buy even more down here. Remember, between 2100 and the $1,600 to $1,700 range is like about 20%, 20 to 25%, right? Yes, it's a savings, but it's not something completely substantial, right? Whereas from 21 to 28 is like 33%, right? Like a 1/3, 700. So this is the way I'm looking at this. While this is going on, Bitcoin will likely do the same thing. Over here, you can see that we tagged, so we broke past this weekly support, right? This was the weekly low prior. We closed on it. Now basically what you can see here is we basically almost hit 76K. Last AMA, what did I tell you guys? That this level will be front run, and it was. We didn't get as far. I hope you guys were still buying in. I bought at 81 and I bought on the way down here. I was just buying pieces of it. I was telling you guys this was not going to happen. Not that it wasn't going to happen. This is where smart money was going to be piling in a ton of money and they were going to front run it. Now, the only time I'm actually worried is if we break past the entire range and we go to 49,050. If we break below this, I believe the bull market is done. I believe the Bitcoin bull market is done. I believe we can go anywhere below down here. Until then, I would be shocked to see us get below this 76.9K, right? Because remember, the market makers want to do two things. They want you to give up and they want you to chase. So if you want to be successful in crypto, remember that. The people who make the real money in this space, they make the money by making you give up because you can't take it anymore. And when that happens, when the majority of people have given up, they then turn on the hope because they need to send it. If they completely get you out of crypto and everything and you're sort of whatever about it, then no one's going to chase. But they need to make money off people. And this is why they do what they do. That's why they eat that $2,100 level was not enough. And that's why I truly believe we go down further. Because at $2,100, people weren't saying it's over. At $1,600, people will be saying it's over. And saying that you are going to believe right now is one thing, but actually believing when the time comes to it is another story indeed, right? There are many people who are now massively underwater at these levels. Just remember this. Today, sitting at $21.99, who actually is up on their Ethereum position who bought in the last year? Fucking nobody. And I shouldn't be swearing, but you know what I mean, right? Look at this green box. If you bought any time in the last year above this box, you're in the red. Like, you see how easy it is to squeeze people's emotions? Like, you could have been buying at 2,300. You're still down. You could imagine people bought at 4,000. Down massive. The people who are happy to be in Ethereum every day gets less and less. There was a guy in my last live stream who was talking about the Ethereum upgrade, right? And then when I pressed him, he's like, well, I bought ETH when it was like 1,500. I'm like, yeah, that's why you don't care. He doesn't care because he bought ETH at 1,500. But if you look at this chart and you go, oh my God, I can't find any winners. This is what they want to do. This is what the smart money wants to do. They are like making everyone who thought Ethereum was going to be a sure thing feel like it's over. Imagine what happens if it goes to 1,600. Imagine how many people, because right now, at least you have this, right? After that, it's just this small chunk. All right, let me just take the lock off, just to put it in perspective. Imagine if these are the only winners. I'm going to just change the color so you see what I mean. Imagine if this box in the last 3 years are the only winners and they only had these time periods to buy. And most people were not going to buy down here. People thought we're like, oh my God, Ethereum's dead. This is why I ended up marking the bottom, because I remember when ETH was 886, when it was down here, even I didn't think it was going to survive. And I've been part of the cycle for this is my third cycle now. But I was like, oh my God, maybe it goes to 100. I remember thinking things like this, right? Just imagine. So imagine everybody else who's sitting there. Right now, you have some winners, right? Green and red. Very soon, it's just going to be the red. Keep that in mind. This is how you've got to think. Put yourselves in the roles of the people who are trying to make the most money in the space, and everything will start becoming clearer to you. Take a look at Bitcoin for the same reason, right? Over here, yeah, you got like Bitcoin at 76. The only problem with Bitcoin is of all the ETF inflows, but they could easily send it to this. Because at 49K, guess what happens? All of a sudden, anybody who bought in the last 12 months is red, right? So like the problem with this is obviously because of ETFs and everything. That being said, don't know, but this is probably like this weekly close here in validation. Solana, I will tell you guys, when we bounced over here, I closed my position. So I bought a position, 550 SOL for 153 US. And we went to 128, or was it 128? 127, 128. And then we had the bounce, the relief bounce. And I cut that SOL at like, I think it was 147. Yeah, like 147-ish. Didn't get up here to 150. Sold at 147. Took a $6 loss on 550 SOL. It's like, 3K. Already paying dividends because like you see it's down another 8. But I expect SOL to get to $97 to $100 range. That's what I'm going to buy. Let me go to the daily just to sort of put this in perspective. You can see here, one of the things one of the indicators you should be looking at is the RSI, right? RSI measures momentum. We went from basically overbought over here with the Trump coin, which meant we should see a regression to the mean. Sell off all the way to oversold. You see here February 24th, 25th, 26th. And then the rebound. I like buying when it's oversold. This is obviously don't just use this. It's called a confluence, which is like multiple factors. So the price being down significantly, plus the fact that it was oversold on this was like, okay, now we get the relief bounce. The same thing goes over here for Bitcoin. You see the same thing happening and the same thing happening over here. Let's go to ETH to show you guys. This is like right here, like right now, I believe it's at 27. But you see, I was buying ETH because it was oversold. Okay. All right. Let's get into the questions because I was talking for about 30 minutes. Put your questions in the chat if you haven't already. All right. We got Angelo here. Hi, Brown. What's your most recent opinion on AI16/virtual and AI agents? I'll be honest with you. Nothing much has changed for me on AI16Z. Like a lot of influencers will tell you like, oh my God, this thing is huge. It's going to recover big. And I'm going to tell you something. Like I first found AI16Z at like 60 to 70 million market cap. And, so I had a very good initial entry. But ever since, AI16Z has been completely shitting the bed, right? Like, let me just bring this up on screen. Okay. Now, AI16Z suffers from two things. Number one is an on-chain token, right? On-chain does horribly when majors are getting crushed. If people think Bitcoin is going down and Ethereum is going down and Sol's going down, why would AI16Z be doing well? This is why I tell you guys, as much as you are super pumped to buy back into these tokens, their safety is not something that is guaranteed. Well, what I will say though is when we compare this, and let me look at virtual too, and I'll be honest, I have not looked at virtual in a long time. And the reason for this is like, it won't change what I do. I do hold like 10,000 virtual tokens. It's sitting at what, $1.04. Another token that's just gotten completely wrecked, right? Like, look at this. It was like $5 at the high point. And this is the virtual SOL token. But, if we had the virtual base token, you'd see it from before. But basically what you can see here is this looks like a shit coin. I still think if AI agents come back, that AI16Z and virtual will do fine. Sort of, this is why I don't know if you guys can see the television in the background. We got suits in there. But basically, the idea behind this is you want to buy tokens that have a moat. Tokens that have a moat basically have other reasons for money to come there. So virtual and AI16Z are platforms for the AI agents. I don't typically like AI agents for this reason. This is why, like, I think most AI agents will go to zero and never recover. Maybe one or two will do fine. Maybe AI XBT and, you know, trust me bros or whatever. But I think AI16Z and virtual, if AI agents return, these are like the shovels, and I'd rather sell the shovels than sort of look for the gold, which is AI agents, right? Way better return if you get the AI agent right. You don't have to be right with virtual or AI16Z. So that's why they end up holding up much better. Okay. Peter's in the house. Always feel lucky when I'm able to catch one of these lives. Awesome. But that's also why I record them. So hopefully if you know, I get you can ask the questions here, which is nice, but glad you find value. Hello, Chris. What do I think of AI16Z's comeback? What comeback? I'm waiting for the comeback. I know they were working on a platform. I haven't really kept up to date on it recently, but I think it'll be fine. Is ARC and AI16 finished? In my opinion, I don't think so. Like I said, this is why it's so important to buy like the platforms, right? The infrastructure plays. And yeah, like ARC. Let's look at the daily. Yeah. Just another one that's completely bled out, right? Like I said, I would not be bidding these until there's safety in, like, if you don't trust Sol to survive or Sol to sort of break to all-time highs, what the hell's the point of buying this? You know what I mean? Like, this is a hyper gambling at this point. I would wait to see some strength in the bigger tokens that they are on before I jump into these. But if you have a position here, I would hold on to it. No reason to sell at these lows. That's not financial advice. Thinking about DCAing some more ETH with some bonus money coming soon. Good call. Good call. What's your opinion on picking up an ASC for Eclipse? I'm not familiar with it. What I will tell you is there has been some rumors that there is an Eclipse airdrop happening, I believe March 28th. Somebody put a screenshot online from Bybit. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it's BitGet. Not sure. But basically, it depends on the portfolio size. So the way I would answer this question for you is, I believe an ASC is worth 0.5 ETH. How much is 0.5 ETH? If we look at that compared to the rest of your portfolio, right? At this stage, I'll be honest with you, but I have ASCs, just so you guys know. If I had to pick between buying an ASC for 0.5 ETH and buying a little pudgy for 1 ETH, I would rather buy a little pudgy. That's because I truly do believe that Abstract, when they do an airdrop, will reward pudgy NFT holders, and likely when that happens, these prices will go up when people start realizing it, right? We've seen a big sell-off in the pudgies. My views about why is everyone asking about AI agents today? What's going on? I want to know this. What am I missing? Your views about the current state? I think AI agents in general suck. The platforms and the infrastructure is what I will hold. I'd rather bet on those versus trying to pick and choose AI agents, which majority of them are just junk and chat GPT wrappers. Hey, Fud Zero, how's it going? Hi, TBG. What do you think about the Kaito Genesis NFTs? I flipped them 3 times this year. Only 3 times. I've flipped over like 25 or 30 at this point. Like, it's crazy how many of these I've flipped. Is it worth to re-enter around 2 Ethereum level? Is that where it is? I believe it's like 2.5. Where is it? 2.4. So just gonna bring this up on screen. You can so here's the problem, right? If you take a look at the Kaito thesis is actually not playing out the way I want it to. And the reason for that is their NFTs is somewhat got neutered, right? Like if we take a look at Kaito Connect, let's just go over here. Okay. What you can see here is the Genesis NFT gets you 48K holder votes. Now, in the past, it was 120K per NFT, something like that, because they weren't getting split. This is actually coming down even more. At the end of the last round, a Genesis NFT had basically I think it was 15 or 16,000 votes, and each vote is worth 1 cent. So if you think about it, it's $160. Compare that to Kaito, which doesn't even have the 7-day lockdown the NFTs do. And I think it's just sort of a better hold at this point. I think if you are able to get some NFTs at discount, I would buy them, vote with them, and then flip them, right? So earlier today, we saw some massive sell-offs. I was like reporting on it earlier. Basically, somebody just said, forget it. They sold all their NFTs into bids, right? And this is why, like, I think, when did I sell mine? I sold mine yesterday, didn't I? I would say you. I don't know where it is. Should say you or something on this thing. Because I know I sold mine for like 2.9 or something. I don't remember. But basically, oh, here, that's why. Put it here. And we'll just check this out. It'll tell me this very, very quickly. I know I sold one of mine recently. It should say you on it. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, wait, no. I bought one and then I sold one. Where's one I sold? Oh, no, there you go. This is the one I sold. Yeah. Me to somebody else. So I sold for 2.95 ETH. I bought it for like 2.75 or something like that, 2.75. And then I basically flipped it after voting, right? That's honestly the way I would play these. Buy them, go to this website, right? Go to my votes. And when that happens, you click on this button, list of vote locked Genesis NFTs. And you can literally find out which NFTs are not locked. So I'll just show you for an example. Let's just take a look at this one. So on the floor right now is 2.427. You click on this button. It says here, this is token ID 1440. So we'll just go down here and we'll just keep going until it says, come on. It's only doing this because I had this stupid window like resized. Normally it wouldn't make me go all the way back up, but just show you guys. 14, what the? 1440, where is it? Okay, whatever. It won't go that far. Let's do the next one here. What the? 1303. 330. Okay, 330 for example. Okay, let's go here. 330, so 328. So it's here. So this one is locked for 6 days. So this would be a horrible buy, even though it's like on the floor price 2.43. And the reason for that, like I said, is if you buy this, you can't vote for it. So if I was going to do this, just answer your question in difference, I would basically buy this on a dip. When there's an active vote that you can use to vote, obviously make sure that you check to see if it's unlocked and then do the same thing. Like I said, I have flipped these like 25 plus times. It is incredible. And obviously when you can vote with them, incredible. People actually follow what BG said, they'd be in the green. Yeah, 100%. Well, the thing is, I'll be honest with you. Look, I make mistakes too, but I try to make less mistakes than as possible, right? The whole idea in crypto, poker, and everything else is like, everyone has mistakes. How do you minimize the mistakes you make? They're called leaks, right? Mentally, how do you still hold your spot back knowing, anticipating? Well, here's how. Like, when you have your thesis and you sort of got into it, like, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what to do with the soul bags and everything, right? So I haven't really sold those. I sold a lot actually, like at Trump coin. I remember like telling you guys 130, 150, and sorry, 230, 250, and 270. I didn't really sell any like of the other tokens because I wasn't sure. But I'm like, my ETH holdings are massive, right? Like ETH and ETH beta for me are like 40% of my portfolio. So I sold 65% of my Ethereum at 2,800. And you know, that was over 100 ETH. So just letting you guys know, like, it is hard to do that, but when you're locked in on a plan, I'm super happy now that I did it. And the other thing was, like, you give yourself the flexibility, because here's the thing. It's not so much just knowing it's going to 1,700 for ETH or BTC going down. It's also, do I still believe the cycle's going on? If I believe the cycle's not done, I'm not holding on to anything. In fact, I'm not even buying anything. Does that make sense? So you've got to ask yourself, before you buy anything, is the cycle over for you? Yes or no? If the cycle is over, then why would you buy anything? You should be looking to short the market, sell and short the market. That's what you should be doing, right? Does that make sense? And then if you believe it's still going on, then fantastic. I'm going to add to my position where possible. And if you're sort of out of the flexibility room, you can sort of sell 10, 20% of your portfolio or whatever to give yourself the capital to buy in case things go down more. And if things go up, so be it. You lost 20%, but the appreciation on everything else will more than make up for it. Alpha Man, yeah, how's it going? Damn. Hello, brother. Do you think the cycle's over? No. Do I think the cycle's over? No. On Twitter, many people are saying we're at the inflection point. Yeah, but Zira, here's what I'll tell you. Many people on Twitter were also lying to you, telling you that we were bullish, that we were going straight up, all-time highs, that the bull market is the meme coin super cycle is on and whatever. They're all liars. They know nothing. The people on Twitter here literally don't know anything. They're emotional little children. They throw tantrums and they don't get what they want. And now, despite 2 weeks ago saying, "Oh my God, no, we're going to like 4,000 on ETH. This is the bottom. 2,800 is the bottom." What? Now they're telling you 2,100 is the bottom? Like, you can't listen to these people. These people have zero track record. And somehow people on Twitter go, "Well, they were wrong about everything else, but I think this time they're right." You know what I'm saying? These people are so wrong, and I would avoid following them. While I say the market does not need to pump from here, right? The people who are going to say that, what's going to happen to them? They will not exit on the bounce, and they're going to get crushed. Like I said, you guys know I bought 550 SOL for $153. At one point, I was down 20 something, $25 per SOL, like, or 25 or 26 SOL for 550. I was down over like 100, down over like $11,000 or $12,000 at one point on that trade that I was buying the dip. And when we got the bounce, I just sold out of it because I believe we're going down even more. But the people who tell you the market's going to pump from here, they just want you to not exit, not get out of some positions on the bounce. And then when we go down more, well, what are they going to tell you? These guys literally know nothing. And it's so hard to like dispute this because there is nothing to dispute. They're just stupid. They're actually stupid. These people are not educated. They just come on there and post their feelings. And I'm sorry, but I need to make money. And I don't, like, you have to tune these idiots out. Ask yourself, have these people been right before? Have these people been telling me what's right? Or have they been literally telling me to just keep buying, to believe in something or whatever and send you to the slaughterhouse? No, thank you. What do I think about holding JLP right now? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you can. Remember, JLP is just a mix of Bitcoin, ETH, SOL, and stable coins. You don't want, like, when we're going down, I would rather just be buying Bitcoin and ETH. This is what I'm doing. I'm only buying Bitcoin and ETH right now. Even though I want SOL at 100 and I want hype at $14, I'm bidding Bitcoin and ETH because those are going to be massive positions for me. If you buy JLP, you're having 40% of stable coins, and yeah, like you have like a share of perpetuals, but you're going to do way better buying Bitcoin and ETH at these levels, in my opinion. If we get the 1700 level, and even ETH at 2100 is not bad. What's my opinion on Supra? I don't really have one. I don't know enough about it to comment. Sorry. What's my current look on NFTs? I think NFTs are like, treat them like beta, right? So, for example, I was looking at CryptoPunks earlier. I believe it's like 34 ETH for CryptoPunk. Yeah. This is an incredible buy because when I moved to Dubai, I remember telling somebody that I wanted to buy one for 150K. That was the floor. And now the floor is like, what, 70? Yeah, 75K, right? Because ETH got halved and this has gone down by like 15. It's insane, right? Like, it's so cheap in comparison. Now, these are grails and they could go down even more. If you take a look at the analytics, they were in the 25 ETH range, I believe, before November. Let me just go back. And this is like, yeah, you can see it, 25. Like, the thing is, guys, I literally study like the charts of these to know exactly what's going on, right? Like, just take a look. Yeah, see, I hate this chart because it doesn't show it. NFT floor price will show the full chart. but it's very, very good. Now you can see here we went up and now we're regressing. NFTs will do well only when the market is doing well. Like look at Bitcoin puppets, 0.04 Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin is like 85,000, right? So these are like $3,300 per se, right? Not bad. Just take a look, just look at the price. Like this is like complete death of ordinals. And I will be buying a bunch of these, right? I've already got 3. I want more. And these are super cheap. But like I said, when I say NFTs, I'm talking about buying premier collections. Bitcoin puppets is one. Pudgy penguins could be seen as another, right? They're like 9 ETH or 9.2 ETH. Where are they? 9.277, right? So that's not bad either. You can get some decent ones. Like this is a nice one actually. This is super clean, right? My one has a fish on its head. I hate that. But this one looks chill, super chill. Even though it's not like rare, this common just looks like a way better PFP than this thing. So yeah, it's not bad. Also, this one's not bad either. I don't know. I like the Super Saiyan hair. Is that what it is actually? All right, let's check it out. What hair is that? Macaroni. Okay, whatever. VVV, any good? No, VVV is that bullshit that did a small airdrop and the base team exited massive positions. VVV basically dumped on everyone, right? That's the token. They had all this token unlocked and they basically dumped. Yeah, Venice, that's it. No, thank you. Just look at this garbage. Like, this is like massive pump and dump, and they basically got base to list it and then unlock the vested tokens, and then try like the founder or whatever try to clown people on Twitter too. Moron. Any plays on Hype EVM? Honestly, I did like the Hyper NFT. I minted 2 of them. I sold one. Actually, I sold both. What am I saying? I sold one for like 11 Hype, and the other one for like 13, I think. Not bad. My thing on Hype is there will be more NFTs, right? Like I saw like Wealth Hypeo Babies has gone up to like 1.6 Ethereum, right? It's listed on Drip Trade, but I believe it's also listed on their base here. Wow, it's 1.8 ETH now. Yeah, so this one's here. I'd be skeptical buying into this. It's gone up so much. I had one of these. I bought this for like 0.3 and I sold it for like 0.5 or 0.6, like down here. But the entire community was always talking about just the price of these NFTs, and just I don't like being in communities like that because there's a bunch of people who just want to cheat and dump on your head. So no, thank you. Just like take a look at this. 5,500 supply, 830 owners. That means that people who are in here on average own like 7 of them, right? So they're definitely there's a point they're just gonna get super dumped on. And I believe right now it's price going up because of Hype EVM and NFT like whitelists and whatever. Just be very careful. When it comes to Hype EVM, there's a bunch of things that are going on. There's a bunch of like tokens. Honestly, if you just bid Hype at $14, I think you will outdo everybody who's trying to do all this fancy stuff. Some advice on what to do some USDC. Peter, that's what I talked about for the first 20 minutes. What I'm doing with USDC is I'm buying Bitcoin and ETH. Bitcoin at these levels, let's just go down here again. So right now at 85,000, fantastic. And then if you can get 81.5, fantastic, and 77K, like ladder in there. And then ETH at 2,100 and ETH at 16 to 1,700. Hype at 14, Sol at 100. Hey TPG, how's it going? You enjoying Dubai? Yeah, thank you for asking. I love it. This is my March 1st here. I actually got the keys to my new place. I'm renting another place now. So I got it and I've started like buying stuff for it. I have like furniture delivery and everything in a few days. So it's gonna be great. You're gonna see a completely new space that I'm in, and I'm renting it for like a longer period of time. So yeah. Do I use Beast Flash Trade for perps on Sol? No, I do not. I know some people who do use it. I know they have some NFTs and stuff. I actually use Backpack for perps on Sol. If you have a Mad Lads, it's just way cheaper. I have to make a video on Backpack. I will eventually. I haven't had the time to, but the fees are just so minimal if you have that. And you also earn this like Sonic token as well, which is fantastic. Thank you. Can you share a strategy for small investment like 5 or 10K? Zira, you've already DM'd me about this. If I got this correctly, I've already told you it. Just buy the majors, be safe, right? Your number one thing, Zira, is to get a ledger, because I don't want to see that thing happen again, right? And number two, just buy. Like if I were you, if I was, not financial advice, but if I were you and I have a 5 10K portfolio, I would just load up Ethereum and just make sure you secure the bag. Try to get to 2,100, 1,700 and run it at all-time highs. Okay, and then if you can get hype at $14, do it. But do not try to get fancy. All these, like, what I hate about some influencers is they'll say, "Well, you're never gonna get rich buying Bitcoin." You think great, but you tell them to buy your bullshit, and then they end up going to zero. I hate that. Did you mess around with Abstract? Yeah, I told you guys that it was garbage. I recorded a walkthrough video like a month or so ago and then just deleted it because I hated it. Now, I am going to end up making a walkthrough video because people keep asking me for one. And it's like week 4 or week 5 of Abstract. But I told people, if you get on the Abstract NFTs, dump them because they're literally worthless. I believe On-Chain Heroes was the only one that did well after the socks. And yeah, this one will get completely destroyed soon. On-Chain Genesis Hero. Because remember, this is a very Ponzi-nomic game. You use these heroes to farm hero token, and basically there's no real demand after the fact. Hi BG, got a hippos yesterday. The wealthy hippos. Great. Awesome. Congratulations. Would it be good to look into Sonic? Yep. I like Sonic. I made a video on Sonic. In fact, I have a 3-part guide on how to get them max on their airdrop. So I will look at that. I flipped a Segment Explorer NFT. Cool. Awesome. I bought like some abstract cats and whatever and got like some doubles on it. Wasn't worth my time, to be honest. Like, turned like 20 to 25. No, it's like maybe like $35 into 70 on maybe 4 of them or something. But like, it's just has not really been worth my time, I'll be honest with you. But I will be making a more in-depth how to get XP guide for Abstract. People have keep asking me for it. I keep getting DMs about it. I mean, should it all be Bitcoin ETH? No, I mean, maybe you posted this. Maybe you posted this like before I responded, but Bitcoin, ETH, and hype. For you, that's what I would say. Bitcoin, ETH, and hype, not financial advice. Alpha. Potential of hype? I think hype can go to the hundreds. Like, hype is probably one of the best moats out there because it reminds me a lot of JLP, right? Like when they make money, they're using that money to buy back their token, which is that's amazing, right? So you have constant buying of the token, and at $14, I believe $14 is the level. Let me just, yeah, right? So $14.13. Obviously, you don't have to wait to 14. You can buy 15 or whatever, but this is the area, right? This is the zone I'm looking for. Coming down here, I plan on loading up like 6 figures into this because this thing, I believe, can go to the hundreds. Ledger yesterday. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Make sure you set that stuff up. Thank you, brother. You always keep it real. Stay blessed. Yeah, you're welcome. Do I see quantitative easing impacting total market cap this cycle? Yeah. I think that eventually we will get quantitative easing, right? So like QT is probably going to stop like in a few months. I don't know when exactly it'll stop, but when QE starts, like that means there's more money around, right? So we should see altcoins have bigger inflows. But until then, guys, be safe, right? Like what I don't want to see happen is people get frustrated. They make shit moves. I'm not going to name names, but there are there are at least 5 or 6 people that I've talked to on a consistent basis enough where I've told them what I would do. They ignore what I would tell them. And then they come to me and tell me that they're out, that they have no more capital, that they've blown up or whatever. That, like somebody I told them to close like a long, they didn't do it. You're just like, oh my God, like what do you want from me? So my thing here is, guys, do not do anything that takes you out of the game. I don't want to see anyone taking a fatal blow, right? I don't want you to be sidelined when everything good happens. Until then, make smaller returns, smaller, consistent, guaranteed returns, pretty much, not financial advice, while we wait for that to happen. That's why I'm saying, like, hey, you got Bitcoin and Ethereum at lower prices. What world does Bitcoin go to zero? Or what world does Bitcoin fail here? The fail rate is like almost impossible. Ethereum, small fail rate, not impossible, but like very, very unlikely. But if you were to just go, hey, no, I'm buying these AI agents, those AI agents could be zero. The fail rate is so massive on those things, right? So please be safe for now. When more money comes in and you can be more risky, then do it, but don't do it yet. Please save yourselves. Last question, off-ramp in Canada, what banks? Honestly, I won't have to deal with that. But if you want to off-ramp in Canada, there's 2 ways that I know a lot of people use. Number one, the most popular method I've been told is casinos. There are private poker games and casinos where people want to buy crypto, right? And if you off-ramp that way, you don't pay any fees, right? And people know each other, they give you cash. It is what it is. If you want to off-ramp otherwise, Coinbase. Hate it, but Coinbase is one way. Oh, you could also off-ramp, actually, Peter, in ShakePay. ShakePay is another way to do it. ShakePay does charge a spread. Can I open it here in Dubai? So it's this app. And basically, like, they will e-transfer you the money. It only can take Bitcoin and ETH though. So you send your Bitcoin or your ETH to ShakePay, you sell it for Canadian dollars, and then it'll let you e-transfer whatever your balance is to your bank account. Okay. Do you think NFT on Hype and EVM? I don't know. I don't see what Hype EVM gives a shit about this. If I'm Hyperliquid, right? Why do I care about those things? I think Hyperliquid cares so much more about who uses the platform. Remember, why would they care about people using NFTs or these, their version of pumped up fun and whatever that people were excited about? No one cares about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think just getting transactional Hype EVM might matter, but I would just focus primarily on just use the Hyperliquid platform, stake some Hype, and do whatever. That should be the one. Okay. What are my thoughts on Caspa? I mean, I made a post. So one thing I'll tell you is I made a video talking about tokens about 2 weeks ago. And the number one hate comment I got was people getting pissed at me for talking about Caspa. I said some negative things. You guys know, for those of you in the Web3 Secret Society, hey, I was very big on Caspa until the KRC mint. We made a bunch of money on that KRC mint, but you know what sucks about it? Their experience was horrible. And when I tell people that, they go, no, it was a beta, it was Casplex, blah, blah. Then why could I not send Caspa from any network to anywhere else? It was all down. So it was not just Casplex. It was the Caspa network. And after all they say about scalability, they could not even handle that demand on that day. So I know they have upgrades to their block DAG. I know they have a bunch of things in the works, but you don't win people over by shitting on everyone else. To say that Bitcoin is garbage, Caspa is the only thing. And then when you say Caspa is not amazing, how dare you? How could you say that about Caspa? This guy's a bully. Yeah, okay. You see how they're mentally challenged. People who think this, people who say this stuff, they're idiots. Why? Because they love trashing everyone else, but the moment you say anything bad about their thing, oh my God. I could go into politics, but I'm not going to. But basically, this is sort of the way I see it. Caspa has potential. Let's wait for it to bottom. Caspa is getting completely demolished. I believe, was it 5 cents? What was it right here? Yeah, 5 cents. that is the potential bid. So let me just put it right here. And like I said, you guys know that I've been looking at this because I knew I knew what price I wanted. So this horizontal line, here it is. Okay. Yeah, good. 5.1 cents. That's the one. That's where I'm bidding it. That's where I'll buy. I'm not touching otherwise. And even then, it's not a high priority. I would rather have hype. I think hype is likely going to be the next BNB token, in my opinion. So I want that one. I want it. I want as many of it as I can get. And if I can get it at $14, oh, cannot wait. But otherwise, Bitcoin and Ethereum are just like, they are the least riskiest. They have the best inflows because of the ETFs. So that is why I'm doing it. People ask me, what about Dogecoin, XRP, whatever, right? Just wait. There'll be time for that. I think XRP will be fine, but wait for it. XRP is like $1.60, okay? Can you store all the coins on ledgers if you want to store it? Yeah, you can. And actually, Hype is on Hyperliquid. And by the way, so the way ledgers work to Light is it's a device that is basically a two-factor authentication. And on your ledger, you have multiple apps. So you just have to figure out which app the token falls under. So for Tau, it falls under Polkadot, right? Because Polkadot has a wallet called Subwallet or something. You put Tau in there. If you want to store Hype, Hype can be stored either on Hyperliquid or in Hyperliquid X, which is on Arbitrum, or it can be stored on the Hype EVM blockchain. Both of them are opened through the Ethereum app on Ledger. I love Ledger for this reason. Is there any, oh, sorry. BG don't want to tell the truth. Appreciate you, Peter. Thank you. Caspa is trash, uses Caspa. Like I said, Caspa has potential. I do like this idea of the block DAG, but it is not scalable like they say it is. So how do you solve the trilemma when you can't, like the one thing you're supposed to demonstrate, you still can't. So let's wait. Is there any benefit from staking or Hype from Hype POV? Yeah, so there is. Number one, so the Hype platform, like I believe there's like a Hyper Collective and some other validators. They each have their own like programs. I believe Hyper Collective, is that the one? It might be that one. They have an airdrop. I believe the Nansen one, if that's the one connected to it, has it as well. I'm not a perps trader. Well, the thing is, like, people always say these things, and I will tell you something. I'm not a perps trader. I'm not an options trader. I'm not a trader at all. But the way this works is you don't need to be that person, right? If I asked you to drive your car, you know, would you say I'm not a driver? No. You'd be like, okay, great. I'm going to drive today because I need to. You need to be familiar with how to do certain things because you cannot just come up with a hammer for everything. If, for example, you only know how to go long, which is, you know, and when I say go long, in your case, just buying spot, you are leaving so much money on the table. You need to learn. You don't need to be somebody who's actively doing it, but you need to learn how to basically use a hammer, how to use a screwdriver, how to use like pliers, whatever the hell the tools are. I don't know what they are. I'm out. I know a hammer and a screwdriver. I'm sorry. But whatever tools, like, okay, wrench, there you go. How do you use all the tools in your toolbox so the moment something comes up that you need to be able to know this stuff, you're like, all right, I don't like doing it, but I know how to do it, so I'm going to do it. And in difference, I believe you're part of the Web3 Secret Society. Please watch the video that I talked about. We did this live a couple days ago, delving into options. In that video, I basically covered like, you know, and by the way, I did like it was a walkthrough, right? So we covered like how to go long, how to go short, what they mean, the different ways to do it, and how each of those things work. What's the advantages? What's the disadvantages? And we did some examples, right? If you haven't watched that video, I recommend that you do. I really think you would benefit from learning both sides. Knowing one side is not enough. I promise you it's not enough. And you will be surprised how much more money you make if you just know it. That doesn't mean you have to jump into action on every little thing, but knowing it is going to be massively beneficial for you. Do I have a schedule for live? Right now it's random because my schedule is random. but I do want to have sort of a schedule. I would love to do one of those schedules where like, you know, you have a calendar, this is it, because that's what I do with everything else in my life. But right now it's just like, okay, I do it when I know I can make it, when I feel like it. So yeah. Nansen has one, yeah. But I think Nansen has paired with somebody else, no? Which ledger would I recommend to buy? In all my videos, I actually link. I think I link the ledger. I always do it after the fact. So here, let me do that right now as well. Well, maybe I already did. Yeah, it's in there. So just click on the affiliate link for ledger. It should take you to it actually. So if you're interested, Amin, go do that. And like, so what I will show you is I have like a ledger Nano X. This is very convenient. I also bought this, which is like the ledger Flex, I believe is what it's called. I'll be honest with you. I thought when I bought this that I would like this more. I don't. It's just way harder to navigate with this. It just feels very like non-intuitive, right? Whereas the Nano X is super sleek, super simple. They have a carrying case, right? Like a little small thing you put it in. The Nano X, you just can't beat it. Like, it is fragile for sure, but you just can't beat it. Hey, Jen, I know you mentioned Kaito is currently a better hold. It's only a better hold because there's no cooldown. So, like, here's the thing. When I have my votes, I'll be honest with you, I'm selling them. I want money, right? So, with the Yap Trade DAO, I get, I believe it's 1 cent per vote. The same thing goes with the other, right? And all is deal dependent. So each one of them is different. But basically, the Kaito just seems to have a way better ratio. And also, like, you know, token to votes. And when you look at like how much it costs you, the Kaito token is also appreciating. It has yield because it's staked. And then finally, they don't have a cooldown. So like when I have an NFT, I have to wait 7 days. That's Kaito, you're good in 2 days. It's insane. So you can just sell more votes to people that way. So I really hope Yoo-Hoo does announce something for the NFTs. It's not that there's no incentive. The problem is Nelson, who's running Yapper Collective, has made a reason to have the NFTs. If Yapper Collective did not exist, those NFTs would be worthless right now, just given how Yoo-Hoo has treated it. And I don't think Yoo-Hoo wants it to be worthless. I just think that he's like, well, if somebody else is going to handle it, I don't need to do anything, right? And all they've done so far is take away from the NFTs, which I'm not saying that they didn't say they were going to dilute the votes, but like if you just take from one set of holders and it's never anything positive, and this is your flagship, why exactly do you have to like why would you want to hold on to it? You know what I'm saying? BG, you will blow up if you make a regular schedule. You think so? All right, well, that's some good advice. Like I said, like for me, like definitely want to blow up like on YouTube and whatever. So maybe I will do that. I'm gonna see what I can do. It will be a lot more regular once I have like this made. But yeah, the thing is, and let me say one thing. It's very different when you're doing crypto videos than if you're doing like videos on a game or something else like that, because I don't want to make videos when I don't need to. And what I mean by that is like right now, even though I'm monetized, YouTube has no idea where to send the money because I moved to Dubai and I gave them some address that apparently my work address, I can't get mail from. I don't know why. So I can't validate it. So I don't get money from this. And even when I did, it wasn't much. It was like $100 for a month, right? A lot of YouTubers and crypto people make content not because they think it's helpful for you, but they make it because they need to make money. So that's why their airdrop videos are all bullshit, right? Their airdrop videos are like, do this, do this, do this. And the next day it's like, do this, do this, do this. And like everyone's like, I did all this work, and they literally spend all their time doing some bullshit. They're chasing whatever, and they make no money. They make no money off their airdrop. And all that happens is the airdrop influencer or whatever, the person making content, is making money off views, making money off referrals, getting a lot more subscribers. Because let me tell you something, the more videos you do, the more subscribers you get, right? Because each video can have more subscribers. And I just have never wanted to be that person, because my belief is, hey, if we don't need to have a video, then you guys are good to do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why like the AMAs are a very different style, because this is more to have a discussion with you guys. And if I have the time, I can do those. But otherwise, what's the point? You know? Yeah, it could be a headache. What resources do you recommend for how you do TA? I would just do like very basic. Like a lot of people are like, oh, let me like draw like Wyckoff schematics and blah, 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 blah. Look, just look up basic TA, support resistance, RSI, and like, that's pretty much all you need to know. And there are some really cool tools out there that I'm trying to think of the one. Let me see if I can find it actually. Indicators. Key level spaceman BTC. This one is really good. This one, look this up. If you can add this one, I think it's really good. Like if I go to Bitcoin, I didn't add it. Okay. So you see here, it literally adds previous month high, like all the stuff. Like you just press the button and it does it all for you. And then you just hit the I button and it gets rid of it. But like, it's just so good. Like it just tracks all these things for you, right? So there's some really cool indicators you can get. RSI is really good. Volume's okay, but I find volume can be very deceiving sometimes, right? Especially with OTC stuff. So who did my artwork for the profile pic? Somebody in our private group. So they basically, what I liked about it was I get a lot of people messaging me with a bunch of offers to do stuff like this, and they're not professional. This person was super professional, came up with a proposal, loved it, commissioned it, paid them, whatever. Full change was great. Really appreciate what they did. And I know they watch the video, so I will let them take credit for it. I don't want to out them otherwise. Not writing. Yeah, no. I don't see it that way, but thank you. I appreciate you saying all the kind words. All right, guys, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have you liked the video so far? If the answer is no, hit that button, share the video, subscribe and follow me wherever you're watching. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night and have a good weekend.